So the next session is on coaching, emotional coaching for teenagers, adults, corporate coaching, for executives. So we have two very accomplished coaches here. One is Mrs. Ruchi Tandon. So let me tell you a little bit about her. She's a software professional by qualification, a product manager by chance, and a learning and development specialist and transformation coach by choice. She has worked in MNCs like Microsoft, Amazon, IBM, and Samsung in India and US in diverse roles. With her varied experience, she now focuses on developing leaders and people managers via training and coaching. She's passionate about causes related to women empowerment and child development. She's the Vice President of Wiki Karnataka Child Care Council. So the other presenter is Ms. Reeti Roy. She is the founder of Aglet Incorporated. She has a degree in anthropology and literature from the London School of Economics. She chose to return to India. She's one of those people who was selected for a very prestigious program to be supporting members of parliament in India. She supported Mr. Shashi Tharoor for 2 years in all his writings and public relations efforts. Since then, she's founded Aglet Incorporated, which helps people present themselves, like build their resumes, be it individuals, corporates, be it a person from a small village in Bastar, or a high-flying multinational executive. She helps them present themselves in the best possible light, and even corporates as well. This is some kind of coaching because people have a lot of mental blocks which they have to overcome to present themselves in the right possible manner to the public. So the stage to Ms. Ruchi Tandon.
Thank you. Shubham, could you just play the slide, please? Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Uma, for introducing me. I come from a STEM background. I am a computer science engineer by qualification. And I have moved in the last 25 years of my career. I've taken multiple diversions and detours, and now I am a trainer, facilitator, and a coach. My journey into coaching started in 2018. I am an ICF certified coach now, and in the last 4.5 years, so I call myself a newbie in coaching. I'm still learning the ropes. I'm still trying to figure out where this will take me. Shubham, could we go to the next slide? So everyone here, okay, understands what's coaching? I just didn't know the audience, so I kept this slide more like a filler. But important thing in coaching is, and it is an emerging field in the last decade or so, is that the coach does not direct. We do not tell anybody what to do. We work with them so that they understand what they want to do. It's a process of discovery. It's a process of self-awareness. And in the journey, we are hand-holding to the point that you can push yourself higher than your comfort zone. That's all you are as a coach. So I summarized it here. Can we go to the next slide? I want to share in this session my experience and my focus in coaching. In particular, I entered coaching because I felt my varied background in corporate, different types of roles, different types of companies, different types of designation that I had, has given me a vast variety of experience which I can use with other women who are working in corporates. So the profile of women I like working with, and I reach out to them on my own in the beginning, and now I have a steady stream of clients, are these three. Women who are returning to work. That's a big challenge. It's an uphill task for a mother to leave their child and be back to work. And in India, it's now changing, but at least I know that 10 years ago or 15 years ago, women weren't coming back at all. Now they are. And they need a lot of support to get that motivation back and get that guilt feeling over of leaving the child at home. The second profile I work with are women who are struggling. They've reached mid-levels and they're struggling to get into the C-suite, or who don't know how do I navigate next? And if I take too much, what will it mean for my family? Will I have to compromise? So that's the profile I work with. The third profile I work with are women, and this could even be men. It's not, in general, people who are trying to figure out lateral career changes, who are trying to figure out, I've been working in this for 15 years, but this no longer interests me. Also sometimes with women, prioritization of work and kids. Should I quit for a few years? Should I become part-time for a few years? So I work with these profiles. What I want to share, next slide please, Shubhan, are some of the key learnings I have had. Previous one. The third slide. What has been my experience working with the women? Where do I feel that as coaches, we can really help women who are in the corporate or are entrepreneurs? These are some of the common patterns I have seen with our women sisters and our friends and peers, which they struggle with and they need support with. The first one is, and I see this a lot more in women than men, is they are very scared of failing. They're very, very scared of what will somebody else say. It's part of the imposter syndrome. I'm not good enough. What if I fail? What will people point fingers to? And this is a place where we as coaches can really support them and say, fail fast. Fail 5 times. Fail 20 times. The 6th time when you rise, you will shine like a star. And that journey, actually they don't need much. They just need you to be there to tell them that it's okay to fail. And I have seen transformations. We as coaches are not allowed, we shouldn't be sharing specific stories, so I'm keeping that off. But I have seen multiple women shine so brightly because they just started believing it's okay if I stumble. It's okay if I fail. The second area that women struggle with in corporates is we are less of risk takers. Our brains, we have grown up 10,000 years ago, 5,000 years ago. We were focused on bringing up children. We were focused on ensuring that the child is safe. We were focused on men will come back after hunting. We need to make sure there is food at home. That's all our priorities were, right? The brains have changed in the last thousands of years. But the core, we are nurturers. And so we don't like taking as much risk. Our generation is changing that. That's why I feel very proud to be part of this transformation, where women are thinking differently. But we are not by nature, by our wires, we are not risk takers. The men who went hunting to get a boar home or to get a tiger home, they had to be risk takers. Their wiring is that, right? But ours isn't. And so we need to support women in corporate, in entrepreneurial journey to take risks. It's okay. You don't know all the answers. Don't sit with analysis paralysis. What if this happens? What if that happens? It's okay to sometimes jump. And that's where the failing fast also comes in. So I have worked with women in the area of taking risk, grabbing opportunities, because it doesn't come naturally to us. And I've seen people rise as a result because it's something we are changing in our brain, the way we work. The third area is we worry about questioning too much. We don't like it if we question others too much. No question is stupid. It's okay. Just ask questions. And we are not very comfortable with it. They will be sitting in an exec meeting. They are senior enough. They will have questions in their mind, but they're not as comfortable asking it. That's a pattern I have seen. And again, wide audience communication. Not one way, not like this. This women are really good at, no problem at all. Wide audience communication, which is very interactive. I have seen many of them being very hesitant. I have worked and coached on that, and I have seen them have transformation and how they actually deal with the executive crowd after that. The last topic I want to mention is women tend to want to pick up things which we are familiar with. So if I'm good at this, I want to do this. Whereas men have a higher tendency to, I don't know this, but let me play. It's okay. I'll play. We tend to worry a lot about I don't have knowledge. And that the whole growth mindset movement which says anything can be learned. If we can work with our sisters, with our peers, women peers, to nurture them the fact that anything can be learned. Don't worry if you don't know. If you have the passion, if you have the core skills, the ability to learn, you'll move. And I have seen major shifts in people while coaching. Once they adapt to this framework, it's okay if I don't know today. I'll know 5 weeks from now. I'll know 3 months from now. So that's another area where I have worked with. Imposter syndrome is a known issue which has been studied globally quite a bit, and I have seen that pattern in women. I'm not good enough. Oh, really? I have to talk about biometrics? But there are so many other accomplished people in the room. They know more about it. Doesn't matter. It's your perspective. They may know more. but they will still learn something from your perspective. So guiding them through the imposter syndrome is another way we can coach our women peers and girls. The last area is women hesitate to navigate politics. It wears them down. It wears them down how you have to influence people to get money for a project, how you have to influence the leaders to support a new project that you want to do in corporates. It wears them down. It gives them anxiety. Men, on the other hand, tend to find excitement in it. So again, if women have to rise in corporate, they have to be able to navigate that politics. They need to be able to understand this is part of your, you've chosen to be here in corporate. You need to learn this skill too. And I have coached in the area of navigating politics with multiple of my clients. The last area, and it's not on the slide, is, and it's very relevant to India, might be relevant to other demographics and other geography too, is the challenge of a woman navigating personal relationships, whether it's a spouse, whether it's a mother-in-law, expectations at home, and the expectations of work. And a lot of times women prioritize what's at home. There's nothing wrong in it, it's great, because that's what we are nurturers. But I have seen in my coaching that a lot of time, they sit on the fence because even though they want that new role, even though they want that new challenge, they feel like, what will my husband feel? What will my mother-in-law feel? What will they think of me because I'm not home to serve dinner to the relative who's coming? We need to let go a little bit. And the families need to support too. In coaching, I've had scenarios where women have then gone back and had conversations with their spouses and family and have got that support. So as a coach, I wanted to share my journey in trying to coach women. And I know I'm a newbie. It's a new journey which I have just started, but I'm super excited of being partner with other women and taking them through their corporate life or through their entrepreneurial journey as a coach. And I'm really excited about the career that I have chosen here. So thank you everybody for listening to me.
So thank you, Ruchi, for that very inspiring talk on women and how they can break barriers to be successful, barriers in society, barriers in their own personal life and at home. I hope that's motivating for many of us and anybody else who's watching this. Now it's Ms. Reeti Roy, who's CEO of Aglet Incorporated, and she is going to talk about coaching from her perspective.
Good morning, everyone. Well, it's almost afternoon, but good morning. So I actually want to start with a story, and I will introduce myself first. I run the organization called Aglet Inc., and I help people with resumes, cover letters, LinkedIn profiles. And one of the reasons I started it was because, I felt that a lot of people had the skills but didn't know exactly how to express themselves. And I'm going to go back to a sort of anecdote from my childhood where my younger sister, she's a couple of years younger than me, she was in elementary school and the class had been asked to draw a mouse, and she drew a computer mouse. So my parents were called for the parent-teacher association, and they were like, your child was asked to draw a mouse and she drew that. And I don't know if any of you will be surprised to hear that she's now a software engineer and she majored in computer science. So some people have it figured out right at the get-go. When people ask me what I wanted to do, I would say, one day I would say I want to be a musician, one day I would say I want to be an astronaut, one day I'd say I want to draw, and I was sort of very inclined to the creative arts. So I actually became a creative entrepreneur. Apart from running Aglet Inc., I'm also a tour guide. I conduct tours for art and urban spaces on the weekend. So these are the couple of things that I do. So I myself have had a pretty non-linear career path. And I realized that this is something that really drives me. And when I first started Aglet Inc., something very interesting happened. So many things Ritu has already kind of touched upon. But every time women would approach me, their husbands would say, my wife wants to talk to you. And I'm like, if your wife is going to be my client, why can't she reach out to me? you know? And it really confounded me. And a lot of the times I understood that it was the finances or whatever. And then I said, if you handle the finances, I understand that. But if she is going to be my client, I want to know what her dreams are. I want to have a one-on-one conversation. And that's something that carries on to the day. And, you know, I read something very interesting that Meghan Markle said. So she said that women are always told, you know, women need to women need to learn how to use their voices. And she said, women have voices. They need to be empowered to use them. We all have voices. Every single one of us has an opinion. We need to be in safe and comfortable environments where we are allowed to and empowered to use our voices. And the imposter syndrome that was sort of touched upon, you know, I'm going to build on that as well. When, you know, it's very gendered, because we are told from a very young age what to do, what not to do, how to behave, how to fold our legs, what good women do, what not so good women do. So all of those, you know, shape our personality as we grow up. And those things are not said to men. A lot of the times, you know, very seemingly innocuous things like, you know, boys staying up late or going out late, and then women not, and then sort of saying that, okay, this is a safety concern, which it is. But it is, you know, we always talk about these things, but we don't say that, okay, boys, don't treat women badly, you don't treat the girls badly. It's like, girls, be careful. So, you know, those narrative shifts are happening. We are having these conversations now, but all of these percolate, and that kind of, you know, it's both what you think of yourself and your self-identity, and also all the things that people are saying about you that are affecting you. So very recently, I worked with an eco-feminist, and she actually worked for World Bank for many, many years. And now she started her own sustainable business, you know, running a farm. And she was kind of asking me, you know, I'm not confident enough to write a resume. I'm not confident enough to write a cover letter. So a lot of my coaching, some of it is actionable, but some of it is also kind of telling them that it's okay if you don't know. Let's start with a blank slate. Let's do our research. I'll support you on the research. And, you know, I come from a research and policy background, so I help them with all of that, and then we kind of build upon it. So that's pretty much how I work. And my most recent assignment is with IIM Calcutta, and I'm sort of visiting faculty there, so I'm also training corporate leaders across the board. So I think my time is up. So thank you so much for this opportunity. I can go on and on and on, but I'm really happy to address you today. And thank you so much to my co-panelists, and I hope all of you enjoy the rest of today, and thank you so much.
Thank you, Ms. Reeti. That was very nice, the way you spoke about how boundaries are drawn in childhood. Girls are not sent out. I faced this in real life myself. I used to teach a little girl, and after 6 o'clock, they were afraid to send the girl out of the house because it's dark and all that. So these things percolate and stay in your mind as you grow older, and it's great that you're working for people to overcome these barriers. That was a great session. Thanks to both of you.